everybody, this is Deb with Truthification Chronicles, and we're going to talk a little bit about something that's happening on Thursday. Now, I tried to get this out a little sooner, but today was just kind of weird. It's Wednesday for me, and I know I'm not going to get it out until tomorrow morning, but I really apologize for that. But that's how life goes sometimes. So, let's just get on with what we've got. This is an article by Sarah Carter, and it talks about the Clinton whistleblowers, Thursday's public hearing to reveal explosive information. So if you are around on Thursday and you can get online, I don't have a link to where it's going to be yet, but I'm pretty sure C-SPAN will cover it. I just don't have a link to where it'll be on C-SPAN. So you'll have to kind of look around, keep an eye out. Maybe it'll be on YouTube also, because C-SPAN does have a YouTube channel, so maybe they'll have it there. I'm not sure. I think this is going to be big, though. I believe it doesn't start until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, though. That's what I've been able to glean so far. All right. Anyway, this is the House Oversight. This is the committee that's going to be doing it, because there are just so many committees. Well, this is the House Oversight, but it's the Subcommittee of Government Operations. I know, it's just crazy with all these committees. But anyway, this is the website. As usual, I'll have the links down below. This is Oversight of Nonprofit Organizations, a case study on the Clinton Foundation. That's very interesting. Now, of course, the Democrats are not real happy about that. They seem to have their own website here. It's kind of weird that they have a different website from the main House Oversight Committee website, which is kind of weird. What's really strange to me is the format for every one of these committees' websites is different. I wish they would all just be standard, so you would know where to go to look to find upcoming hearings, etc., etc., but it's not. And here, they even have two separate websites that are not connected at all, and I only found this one because I was looking for a letter that I'm going to tell you about in just a minute that was on Elijah Cummings' website, and then he had a link to this, and it's like, oh, they have their own website. It's just bizarre. Anyway, this one, if you look at this one, it says it's at 2 a.m. So I really don't think it's at 2 a.m. this morning. But by the time this comes out, it'll be past 2 a.m., so you'll know for sure. But I'm pretty sure it meant 2 p.m., and they just messed up. No comment on that one. Anyway, let's go back to this. This is the official one, and basically what they're going to be doing is to discuss the management of 501c3 nonprofit organizations and how the designation impacts the programs and activities a nonprofit is allowed to conduct. They're not permitted to be organized or operated for the benefit of any private individual and are only permitted to engage in minimal political activity. When a nonprofit organization violates these terms, defrauds contributors, or engages in impermissible political activity, the IRS may revoke its tax-exempt status. So that is what they're going to be working on, and they're using the Clinton Foundation as an example. Well, yes, the Democrats are not happy about that at all. I found this in the letter section. A letter from Subcommittee on Government Operations Chairman Mark Meadows to Subcommittee on Government Operations Ranking Member Gerald Connolly regarding upcoming hearing on nonprofit organizations. I didn't find the letter that caused Mark Meadows to write this letter. I've been looking for it. That's why I went to Elijah Cummings' website, and I went to Connolly's website, and I have not been able to find it. It says that it's on record. If you look at this, it says, letter from Elijah E. Cummings, Ranking Member, Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, and Gerald E. Connolly, Ranking Member, Subcommittee on Government Operations, to Mark Meadows, Chairman, Subcommittee on Government Operations, November 29th, 2018, on file with the committee. But it's nowhere on the website, so I have no idea where it is. I'm sorry, I couldn't find it. But this kind of gives you an idea of what they wrote, and this is his response to them, December 4th, and it says, Dear Ranking Member Connolly, because he's the one in charge of the subcommittee. Elijah Cummings is the ranking member in the entire committee. So, yeah, it's very confusing, really. Thank you for your letter dated November 29, 2018, regarding your upcoming hearing entitled Oversight of Nonprofit Organizations, a Case Study on the Clinton Foundation. As you know, I stand ready to work with any member of Congress, Democrat or Republican, to conduct meaningful oversight and root out waste, fraud, and abuse wherever it occurs in the federal government. I was dismayed by your casting of our upcoming hearing as partisan, especially considering the exploitation of 501c3 organizations for personal profit is an issue that affects all Americans, because the tax-exempt status conferred upon these entities is in effect a subsidy of their operations from the federal government and therefore by American taxpayers. We all have an interest in ensuring these entities abide by the terms of their tax-exempt status. I was also dismayed by the partisan attacks on President Trump and members of the Trump administration contained in your letter. I really wanted to find that letter to see what they said, as they are based on unsubstantiated allegations from media reporting and a lawsuit where the merits are yet to be tested in a court of law. So who knows what they said? I mean, it's unsubstantiated. Who knows? They make stuff up all the time. However, I am interested in having a full and frank discussion of all sides of this issue. Therefore, if you are interested in inviting the Chief Executive Officer of the Clinton Foundation to our upcoming hearing, I am happy to invite the Treasurer of the Trump Foundation or the Chief Financial Officer of the Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust, as you requested in your letter. So, in other words, he says, yeah, okay, you want to get the Trump people in here and grill them? Then let's just get the Clinton people in here and grill them. I love it. You know, as much as you want to say that the Republican Congress has not been doing everything and not passing everything we want them to, they've been doing some awesome work behind the scenes. So these guys, they are not letting anything go. Anyway, let's go back to the group that's going to be there. This is who's going to be testifying, the witnesses and testimonies that they have. Now, this does not include, I don't believe, the whistleblowers. So there may be more people on this. And you will also notice there were a lot of people saying that Huber was going to testify. He's not on this list. So just keep that in mind. And it's very likely, especially from some of the things that Q posted today, I mean a whole big bunch of them, the Q&A time, woo! It's very possible that Huber was the overseer, and so Huber himself is not the main person doing some of these prosecutions. He's been overseeing a group of prosecutors who have been in various states looking into different items of corruption. And we saw this when they were talking about Flynn, and that the memo with his says that he was also involved in at least 2 other investigations. So there have been things going on. We know that there was a plane that took off from Arkansas with all kinds of big important things in it, stocked full of evidence. And we also know the whistleblowers are about the Clinton Foundation. So we have some information there. But let's look at these guys. First of all, these are the 4 that they list. Tom Fitton, you all know him probably from Judicial Watch. He's a pretty stand-up guy, and he would testify definitely against the Clinton Foundation because he has a lot of information that he has gotten from FOIA requests about them, and it's not good. So he's probably going to be standing up against them. This Philip Hackney guy, from what I could see on him, I found this. It's really not that easy finding something on him. He's an associate professor of law at the University of Pittsburgh School of Law. And he wrote several articles. This is kind of like a blog. And if you go down through them, you really get the sense that he is definitely on the liberal side. Here he was saying, you know, they talk about the IRS targeting conservatives. Well, they targeted liberal organizations too. Yeah, So you can definitely tell that he's against conservatives. I mean, it becomes pretty obvious. You get down here, one of the bottom ones is about Trump. Trump's abuse of Trump Foundation. Criminal tax implications? And this was back in 2016 before the election. So yeah, he was saying, yes, we need to investigate him. Yes. Anyway, so you can tell, like I said, he's definitely not going to be against the Clinton Foundation. He's going to be pro Clinton Foundation. But then you have these other two guys, Lawrence W. Doyle, and he's the managing partner, DM Income Advisors, and then John, and I assume his name is Moynahan, of JFM and Associates. And these two actually are listed together at this is DM Income Advisors, and then it lists both of their names together, this Lawrence Doyle and John Moynahan. So they are together, although this particular site is mostly done by the Doyle guy. It's a blog called Sense on Sense. And so he's done that. There's a bio about him, and it talks about how he's worked on and around Wall Street since the early 1980s. He's held senior trading, sales, and managerial roles at all these different places. And he wrote a book called In Bed with Wall Street, The Conspiracy Crippling Our Global Economy. Now, I got to tell you, I'm not real savvy on Wall Street stuff, and so I needed to go look to see what his book had to say. It doesn't really give a summary of it, but it does give this review where he tells a little bit about it. In Bed with Wall Street, the new book from Larry Doyle, who has chronicled the misdeeds of the financial industry through his blog, Sense on Sense, which is where I just took you, writes a scathing account on how the financial crisis of 2008 was brought about. And basically he goes through and he says this was what they all did wrong and we should have seen it coming. So this guy says it's a great read. Several say it's a must read for every investor, and so it sounds like an interesting book. But that's all I know about it. Again, I'll put all these links down below. You can check it out for yourself. Then we have the guy that he was working with, this Moynahan. Now, I did not have as much luck finding information on him, but this Anon did. And so John F. Moynahan, Mr. Moynahan has extensive domestic and international experience investigating money laundering and associated financial crimes. He most recently has worked as a senior manager at a Big Six accounting firm as the firm's specialist in money laundering matters. Mr. Moynahan has dedicated his career to the disruption of the surreptitious flow of illegal proceeds through financial as well as non-financial and multinational organizations. Comes to mind Trump's executive order about dismantling transnational criminal organizations. Interesting. Mr. Moynahan has counseled multinational corporations and government employees dedicated to anti-money laundering initiatives in the United States, Latin America, Africa, and Europe. So this guy knows his stuff. Mr. Moynahan has successfully investigated and documented highly sophisticated money laundering cartels operating both internationally and domestically. He has also investigated multi-million-dollar contract frauds involving taxpayer funds. Highlights of some of these investigations are detailed below. Money laundering investigated many money laundering schemes worldwide and issued recommendations on reducing corporate vulnerabilities, risk, and liabilities on such matters. Has advised corporations and governments on regulatory issues confronting the efforts levied against money laundering cartels. International trade. Federal investigations which identified hundreds of millions of dollars transferred to and through U.S. and international organizations that were the direct result of illegal narcotics sales. Insurance. Identified a multi-million-dollar insurance fraud involving the falsification of information on applications. Import-export directed an investigation on several fictitious import-export companies that resulted in bank seizures of over $10 million. Contracts investigated statewide contractor fraud in the area of public works projects. Mr. Moynahan received his BA in economics from Holy Cross College. He is a magna cum laude graduate of Old Dominion University, where he received his master's in business administration and the specialty of international finance. Now, I don't know, he didn't give the sauce on this, so I don't know where he got it, but it's pretty detailed. I'm sure it's accurate. So, the people who are going to be there? 3 of them we know are going to be standing very firmly against things that are not on the up and up if the Clinton Foundation is involved. So one of them may be a dissenter. It'll be interesting to see him. But the other 3, I think, will probably give a very solid anti-Clinton Foundation message. Now, it's not that they're going to be against it, they're against crime. So it's not that they're against the Clintons, it's not that they're against the foundation itself. What they're against is money laundering and other financial crimes. And so I think that's what we may see. There may be some sparks tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But as of now, I had heard rumors that Huber was going to testify on Friday. I've not found any indication of that, so I don't know if that's true or not. You know, sometimes these congressmen come out and somebody will ask them a question and they give an answer that doesn't necessarily say what then the media picks up and says they said. I hope that makes sense. But like, for instance, if somebody came out and said, well, we're going to have to talk to Huber, then all of a sudden, oh, Congress is interviewing Huber, kind of thing. So it could very well be that that was just taken out of context when the person said it. I don't know. Like I said, I've not seen it on any calendars. But then again, I might not have just found the right calendar because these websites are not very standard. And some of them are not very well kept up, which is kind of disturbing to me, really, when you think about it. So that's what I've got for you tonight. And I wanted to get this out there. I'm sorry that it's longer than I really wanted it to be, but I do want to get it out. Hopefully it'll get out tomorrow morning so some people will be able to see it before 2 o'clock when the meeting's supposed to be. And it says it's public, so it should be carried on C-SPAN somewhere, or somebody should be carrying it. Maybe Fox will carry it or something. So it should be live streamed. I don't know where. Keep your eye out. Look around. This is the Oversight Committee, and it is the oversight of nonprofit organizations. So again, the links will be down below so you can check them out there. Please remember to go to my Patreon website because I found some other links that I am going to be posting on there tonight when I get done with this. I just can't possibly cover them all in videos because I'd be like online all the time and I can't really do that. And my connection is so slow because I live in the sticks, so I can't do live stream. So if I could do live stream, I'd live stream it for you and we'd all talk about these. But I can't do that, so I have to stick to the record and upload, and the uploads take a long time. So anyway, I wanted to say thanks for stopping by, and if you could hit that subscribe button, it would really help me out because my goal is to get 40,000 subscribers by Christmas. It's going to be tough, folks, but if you help me out a little bit, tell your friends, get them to click that subscribe button, it would be really nice. What a wonderful Christmas present that would be for me. So thanks a lot for stopping by, and I'll talk to y'all later.